10 Historical Facts about Muammar Gaddafi. 1. Rise to power. Muammar Gaddafi, born on June 7, 1942. In Qasr Abu Hadi, Libya, came to power in a bloodless coup d'état in 1969, overthrowing King Idris I and establishing himself as the leader of Libya. 2. Pan-Arabism and Arab socialism. Gaddafi initially espoused Pan-Arabism and Arab socialism as the guiding ideologies of his regime. He advocated for Arab unity and sought to promote social justice and economic equality through socialist policies. 3. Green Book. Gaddafi outlined his political philosophy in the Green Book, a collection of his writings published in the 1970s. The Green Book called for direct democracy, people's committees, and the abolition of political parties and representative democracy. 4. Support for revolutionary movements. Gaddafi supported various revolutionary movements and terrorist organizations around the world, including the Irish Republican Army IRA, the Palestine Liberation Organization PLO, and various African liberation movements. 5. State sponsorship of terrorism. Libya under Gaddafi was implicated in numerous acts of terrorism, including the bombing of Pan Am Flight 103 over Lockerbie, Scotland, in 1988, and the bombing of a discotheque in West Berlin in 1986. 6. International isolation. As a result of Libya's support for terrorism and Gaddafi's erratic behavior on the world stage, Libya faced international isolation and sanctions from much of the international community throughout the 1980s and 1990s. 7. Normalization of relations. In the early 2000s, Gaddafi sought to improve Libya's standing in the international community by renouncing support for terrorism, dismantling Libya's weapons of mass destruction programs, and paying compensation to victims of terrorist attacks. 8. Arab Spring. In 2011, Libya was swept up in the wave of protests and uprisings known as the Arab Spring. Gaddafi's brutal crackdown on protesters led to a full-scale civil war and intervention by NATO forces in support of the opposition. 9. Fall from power. Gaddafi's regime collapsed in 2011, and he was captured and killed by rebel forces in his hometown of Sirte on October 20, 2011. His death marked the end of his 42-year rule over Libya. 10. Legacy. Gaddafi's legacy remains controversial. While some view him as a dictator who ruled through repression and violence, others see him as a nationalist and anti-imperialist leader who challenged Western domination in the Middle East and Africa. His regime's demise also contributed to the destabilization of Libya and the ongoing conflict in the country.